one of the things I'd like to highlight at the beginning of our conversation is an example of someone who I think is a material success superstar with a base of spirituality, and his name is Diljit Dosanjh.
Yeah.
Okay, I've podcasted with Diljit Dosanjh, and when you meet him off camera, he's always chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya in his breath all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what shows up in his voice and face. And that's why when people say that, hey, there's something that's changed about Diljit Dosanjh post 2020 and post the lockdown, I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I'm not going to say more than what I've already said, but let's just say something has spiritually opened up inside him.
Yeah.
I definitely want to share the fact that there is an Om Namah Shivaya in his breath. And that's one of the active practices that I've learned about through the podcast as well. That when it comes to mantras, for lack of better words to translate it into English, these are like little energy packets or spells.
Yeah.
For lack of better words.
Yeah.
And you have to chant a mantra until the mantra starts chanting you. And that's what I think Diljit Dosanjh has been able to reach in terms of a point in his own journey.
Yeah.
And we're just seeing the outcome of him reaching that point.
Yeah.
There have been countless moments in my life which are full of overthinking about different topics. And usually the overthinking is about a past pain or a future possibility. I think overthinking is one of the most common problems in today's day and age. A very practical Sanatani hack that's worked for me is that every time I go on an overthinking tangent, I submit that thought to my deity. So I literally visualize myself taking that thought and placing it at my deity's feet and saying, hey, now this is your problem, not mine. And the way I end up doing that is either by saying an Om Namah Shivaya in my head or an Om Namah Dattaya, which is for Dattatreya Bhagavan, because that's my childhood deity. And in your moments of overthinking or pain, you become a child on the inside. Which is why Om Namah Dattaya comes out pretty quick from my heart, but it's gradually turning into an Om Namah Shivaya as I grow older.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Om Namah Shivaya Mantra to you. Some of my deepest meditations have been outcomes of chanting Om Namah Shivaya in my own head. And I'd spoken about this mantra to Rajarshi Nandi in detail. And he said that Om Namah Shivaya is an extremely powerful mantra, but one should know that you will be rushed towards a spiritual outcome through that mantra. So rather than chanting Om Namah Shivaya, even if you just chant Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya in your head, without the Om, even that does the trick and you are able to connect to the deity.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing the ball at you.
Yeah.
So you can take over.
Om Namah Shivaya is a very powerful mantra. And I have a story, a little bit of a story with Om Namah Shivaya myself as well. When I was growing up with my grandfather, right?
Give some context. Who's your grandfather?
My grandfather is late Mr. Balaram Khatiwada, who was a Vedic practitioner, a Karmakanda priest, and he is the founder of Nepa Rudraksha, right? Along with my grandmother, Mahalakshmi Khatiwada, right? So when I was growing up, I used to see him every morning do puja. Every morning he did the entire Rudravishek, and he was, that is what instilled spirituality in me. I'm still wearing one of his Rudraksha as a blessing from him. So when I went to the puja room, we had Om Namah Shivaya written in one of the walls, and I asked him, what is this mantra, Om Namah Shivaya? It was written in Devanagari, right, in Sanskrit. And I asked him, you mantra ko main nahi kiya ho. And he told me that, this each word, Om Namah Shivaya, each word has a depth of meaning. This is a question you have asked me. If I sit here and explain it to you, it is going to take for the rest of my life to explain it. But there are mantras that have been written by people who are very evolved in this. He didn't talk to me like this, but today when I reflect back to this is what he was saying. I'm just talking to you in a more evolved form, but the question that is being answered is what my question was when I was a child. So he told me in his own words, explaining to a child that each mantra each word of this mantra hold a very deep meaning, and there's no mantra like it. Om Namah Shivaya is a complete mantra in itself.
So you're saying when you break it up,
Om Namah Shivaya. So Omkaram bindu samyuktam nityam dhyayanti yoginah. Kamadam mokshanam chaiva omkaraya namo namah. That is Om. Namantirishyo deva namantyapsara samganaha nara namanti devesham nakaraya namo namah. That is Nama. Ma. Mahadevam Mahatmanam Mahadhyanam Parayanam Mahapapaharam Devam Makaraya Namo Namah. She. Shivam Santam Jagannatham Yokanugraha Karakam Shivam Ekapadam Nityam Shikaraya Namo Namah. Va. Vahanam Trisabhoyasya Vasuki Kanda Bhushanam Bhami Sakridam Devam Vakaraya Namo Namah. Ya. Yatra Yatra Sthito Deva Sarvavyapi Maheshwaraha Yoguru Sarvadevanam Yakaraya Namo Namah. This is the Sarakshara Stotra. The Sarakshara Stotram, so you have Panchakshari Stotram, but it misses out the Om. It starts with Nagendra Haraya Trilochanaya, Bhasmangarakaya Maheshwaraya, Nitya Suddhaya Digambaraya, Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya. Mandakini Salila Chandana Charchitaya, Nandi Swara Pramadhanata Maheshwaraya, Mandara Puspa Bahu Puspa Supujitaya, Tasmai Makaraya Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Gauri Vadrancha Vrinda, Surya Daksha Turanashakaya, Srinila Kantaya Trishatvajaya, Tasmai Shikaraya Namah Shivaya. Vasishta Kumbho Bhavagautamārya, Munindra Devarchid Sekaraya, Chandrarka Vaishwanar Lochanaya, Tasmai Vakaraya Namah Shivaya. Yajna Sarupaya Jatadharaya, Pinaka Hastaya Sanatanaya, Divyaya Devaya Digambaraya, Tasmai Yakaraya Namah Shivaya. So these are like, this is the Panchakshari mantra, the Sarakshara mantra. These are mantras. Omkaram. So when I was in Omkareshwar, this is the mantra that they offered to Omkar. Om. Na. So all of these mantras, the mantra of Om Namah Shivaya, it's a Sanatana Dharma in itself. If you and I start talking about Om Namah Shivaya, there's so many meanings to this word. But I truly believe Om Namah Shivaya is a mantra that anyone can do. And it is a mantra. Shiva is a destroyer. You have to understand, he's a destroyer of what? In the form of Rudra, he destroys. Shiva does not destroy. Shiva, when it takes the form of Rudra, you won't hear the word Shiva in Vedas. In Vedas, he is known as Rudra. As we come to the Puranic age, Rudra becomes Shiva. Today we know Shiva and Rudra as both stemming out of Sadashiva. Shiva as a cosmic, balancer. Rudra as the destroyer form of Rudra. That's why there is Rudraksha. There is no Shiva-aksha. Rudraksha is the transforming tool. That's why there is Rudrashtakam. That's why there is, Rudra. When we say the Shiva Gayatri mantra, explaining the relationship between Shiva and mantra, Rudra, Tatpurushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tannu Rudra Prachodayat. So we invoke the Tatpurush form of Lord Shiva, who is the east-facing Lord of Pashupatinath. Pashupatinath, the face that faces the east to the sun, is Tatpurush. Right? Tatpurushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi. Mahadevaya is the invocation. And then Tannu Rudra, O Lord Shiva, in your form of Rudra, Prachodayat, meaning show us the light. So when it destroys Shiva, so the reason I'm telling that Om Namah Shivaya is attainable to anyone is because Shiva is a destroyer in the form of Rudra. What is he destroying? He is destroying stagnation. He is destroying ego. He is destroying all the tamasics that hold us behind. The deep thoughts, the feeling of heartbreak, the feelings that are keeping us behind, the stagnant feelings, the tamasic gunas that he's holding, he's destroying. So chant the Om Namah Shivaya mantra so that Lord Shiva in his Rudra form is going to come into your life, destroy the negatives, and let creation begin again. Yeah.
Love this.
Yes.
I've been waiting to do a Shiva podcast for the longest time. Want to talk more about the Om Namah Shivaya mantra.
Yeah.
I really, really feel that it's one of the most powerful tools that one can use to meditate.
Correct.
You can just sit in one place, close your eyes, just chant it in your mind.
Yeah.
Let the thoughts come and go. Try focusing on the mantra. Try focusing on a visual of Shivji right here in your own temple.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a temple.
Yeah.
Invite Shivji into your temple.
Yeah.
Would you want to talk a little bit about practical uses of this mantra, especially for the end listeners?
Yeah.
A young person dealing with heartbreak, dealing with failure, dealing with the feeling of hopelessness.
Yeah.
But feeling a sense of hope by listening to this podcast about Shiva.
Yeah. So worshipping Lord Shiva, right? It might feel overwhelming. You need a water, you need a glass, you need milk, you need Shivalinga, you need everything. There's a lot of material requirement in our minds that we need to start worshipping, but you just need a calm mind. And even not that, you just need a mantra, because mantra is overpowering enough that it calms your mind, right? You talked about surrender. You are replacing the thought with a mantra. So if you are dealing with anything, just close your mind. Om Namah Shivaya very practically has 5 words. Om Namah Shivaya, right? It is known as the Panchakshari mantra for that reason. So when I do the Manas Puja of Lord Shiva, the Na stands for the Sadyojat, the first face of Lord Shiva. So when I'm thinking about the Sadyojat Bhagwan, if you have visited Lord Pashupatinath, it's very easy because you can see the depiction. It's a Yajuman Linga Pashupatinath where you can see the faces of Lord Shiva. But even if you don't, imagine a Shiva Linga. Imagine one face of Lord Shiva in the Shiva Linga. That's the Sadyojat. That's the first form. And then do the Na mantra. Then Ma for Bamdev on the left. Shi for the Aghor on the right. Va for the Tatpurush on the behind, looking at the sun. And Ya for the Ishan, the invisible form of Shiva. So you can even do a Shiva worship, a parikrama almost, through the Namah Shivaya Mantra. The Namah Shivaya Mantra, that's the reason it has 5 words, is because it represents the 5 faces of Lord Shiva as well. So as you understand, like I said, Sanatana Dharma is so deep that understanding the single word, understanding a single mantra is going to be enough for you. Bhairav, when we say the word Bhairav, right? Understanding the simple word Bhairav is going to be sufficient for you to understand the depth of Sanatana Dharma. Bha, creation. Ra, preservation. Va, destruction. Bhairav, right? When you say Bhaya, it's fear. Rava is the sound that destroys the fear. So Bhairav in itself is a deity that can destroy the fear of you. He's the form of Lord Shiva that does that, right? So mantra chanting for beginners is all about starting to first chant it. Then, like you said, understand what seems like a apparent meaning. Then start to understand the depth of it. Then you want to venture into the Bij mantras as you start to be, as you start to go deeper. And as you go towards the spectrum where words, meanings are beyond, and you start to go and climb that ladder, then you are starting to get closer to what we call as Shiva, what we feel as Shiva, or what we experience as Shiva, because he is everywhere, but still we can't see him. He's inside of us. We can feel Shiva.
When I was younger, I'd always question why my mom offers flowers or prasad while she's praying. Once I grew older and podcasted with people like yourself, I realized that these are more intricate practices of Sanatan Dharma, which you may or may not do at some point in your own journey. But what's more important than even those practices, especially for the beginners watching this, is 1, the emotional connection to the deity, 2, the study of the deity, and 3, some kind of practice related to the mantras. And Om Namah Shivaya is a great starting point for Shiva Sadhana.
Correct.
Easier ways to enhance it. Light a diya and do it.
Yeah.
Maybe offer some kind of prasad to the diya. These little steps in that direction of ritual take you closer to the deity.
Yeah.
And ideally, at some point, if you're lucky, you'll find a guru who'll guide you through the intricate traditional ways of Sanatani worship.
Yeah.